Hello, my name is Benard, and I'm about to share with you a story about what happened to Malcolm Alexander in 1980. Malcolm Alexander was arrested for rape for an uncertain misidentification from the victim. Though facing life without parole, Malcolm's paid attorney failed to present effective defense, neglecting to make an opening statement or cross-examine witnesses. Malcolm was just 21 years old and a father for a 2-year-old. He was convicted the same day and tried the same day. Malcolm maintained his innocence. But the Innocence Project investigation indicated that most of the crime evidence from the scene was destroyed shortly after the trial. Years later, evidence was discovered and DNA testing sought by Innocence Project and co-counselor Innocence Project New Orleans excluded both Malcolm and the victim. Now, my point that I want to make is that America's criminal justice system has taken the lives of many African American men, and we are in need of crucial reform in our criminal justice system. I'll be talking about four major causes that promotes the wrongful convictions of many African American men, starting from government misconduct, racism, false confessions, and bad lawyering. Time will only permit me to speak on only three, but these four highlighted causes or reasons is why we need reform in the criminal justice system in the United States. Our first argument is government misconduct. The government officials take steps to ensure that the defendant who is convicted, despite weak evidence or clear proof of innocence, is convicted or arrested. According to Michigan State University College of Law, African American prisoners who are convicted of murder are about 50% more likely to be innocent than any other murderers and spend longer time in prison before exoneration. Our second argument is false confessions. In many cases, innocent defendants make incriminating statements at some point during the interrogation session. That is when government officials such as police officers or prosecutors force defendants to accept crimes that they did not commit. For example, the Central Park jogger case, which occurred in April 19, 1989, when it was a criminal case in the U.S. based on an assault and rape of Trisha Melly, a 28-year-old woman, at Central Park. These 5 boys, known as the Central Park 5, were accused and forced to confess to a conviction that was not their fault. Our third argument is racism. Throughout centuries, Black or African American men have been stopped and harassed by the police due to the color of their skin. According to the Washington Post by reporter Lindsay Bever, makes known that in March 1944, deep in the Jim Crow South, police came for 14-year-old George Stinney Jr. and framed him for a crime that he did not commit, and became the youngest Black male to receive the death penalty by execution. Electrocution. Now, with these possible solutions, we can ensure that every American, Black or white, will be free from America's criminal injustice system. For example, police and prosecutors need to be trained and avoid using improper techniques and should be held accountable. Number 2, before making any charging decision in a confession case, prosecutors must evaluate the confession statements and should be aware that there are factors that come together to distinguish between confessions which are true or false. Protests. Across history, protests have shaped societies in tremendous ways, and protests are important for people to engage in political movements for their voices to be heard. And last but not least, education. We must push Black studies in schools to change the narrative about Black people being criminals. Educate people on their rights, educate people on how to deal with the law, teach our young ones to know better and to do better, so we don't give certain people the chance to take advantage of us. Now, to conclude, Malcolm finally walked free from Louisiana Angola prison. He had been incarcerated for 35 years. That's the longest of any exonerated prisoner in the United States. He reunited with his now adult son and grandson, both named Malcolm. My question to you all is that, must we sit and watch like spectators, or must we sit and watch like spectators at the thousands of innocent lives that are being incarcerated day in and day out? Or would you stand for what is right to help a friend in need? We must wake up, people, for a journey of 1,000 miles starts with one footsteps. We need change. We need a resolution. We need reform. Thank you.